When we subtract, we're like math detectives. 541 minus 376. Always start in the ones place. I know that I can't do 1 minus 6. Sometimes you don't have enough, you have to borrow from a neighbor. I'm going to borrow from this 4. If I borrow 1, now that 4 becomes a 3. Anytime I borrow 1, I add 10 because I'm borrowing from the tens place, and 1 10 is equal to 10 ones. So anytime I borrow 1, I add 10. 1 plus 10 is 11. Now I can do 11 minus 6. I can't do 3 minus 7 though. Sometimes you don't have enough, you have to borrow from a neighbor. I'm going to borrow from the 5. It becomes 4. Anytime I borrow 1, I add 10 because 100 is equal to 10 tens. 10 plus 3 is 13. Now I can subtract everywhere. 11 minus 6 is 5. 13 minus 7 is 6. 4 minus 3 is 1. The answer is 165. It works the same if it's a story problem. Missy baked 236 cookies for a bake sale. By the end of the day, 197 cookies were sold. How many cookies were left? We know we're trying to figure out how many cookies were left. We know that the important numbers that we need to solve this problem are 236 cookies and 197 cookies. The words were left tells us that we're going to subtract. We want to figure out how many cookies were left over. We know that this number was sold. We know that it's going to be a subtraction problem. Again, we're going to be math detectives. 6 minus 7 we can't do. Sometimes you don't have enough, you have to borrow from a neighbor. We borrow from the 3, it becomes a 2. Anytime I borrow 1, I add 10. 10 plus 6 is 16. I can do 16 minus 7 now, but I can't do 2 minus 9. Sometimes you don't have enough, you have to borrow from a neighbor. I borrow from this 2. I have 1 left. Anytime I borrow 1, I add 10. 2 plus 10 is equal to 12. Now I can subtract. 16 minus 7 is 9. 12 minus 9 is 3. 1 minus 1 is 0. 39 cookies were left.